Nothing made sense medically. Nothing made sense from a scientific standpoint. And so I, now we are where we are. It's not just about the children. No living thing should be injected with this. And right now we have our military. I just participated in an affidavit to try to communicate that this recent approval is really illegal. It should be null and void. It's based on no data. If you compare the package insert to the package insert of any other drug legitimately that followed through all the steps of research in an FDA regulatory process, you will see that there's something very wrong with the approval of this Comirnaty or this, Pfizer jab. It just doesn't make any sense. Everything is missing.
It's all phony. It's all a big psyop. It's all a big, massive amount of confusion and paper pushing that boils down to mass genocide. That's what it is.
Mr. Edwards, so I have here Sabrina. She is from Pfizer Medical Information, and she will be assisting you further. So please note that the call will continue to be recorded for quality assurance purposes. I will be disconnecting from the call now, so thank you and have a good day.
Thank you, Hans. Hello, Sabrina?
Hi, good morning, Mr. Edwards. Hello, can you hear me clearly, sir?
Yes, I can hear you.
Perfect, thank you so much, Mr. Edwards. Good morning, and how are you this morning?
I'm doing good. Thank you for asking. How about yourself?
I am doing fine. Thank you for asking as well. Okay, Mr. Edwards, yes, I understand that you weren't able to give your phone number. Okay, so it's okay. And I just wanted to clarify or verify first that you are calling regarding the Pfizer BioNTech COVID-19 vaccine, right?
This is correct.
And you are calling, or you were asking if the vaccine if the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine is FDA approved, and you want the list of the ingredients of the vaccine.
That is also correct, because I wanted to make sure that I have the best information for my employees if we're going to be mandating the Pfizer vaccine. I just want them to be safe, secure, and well-informed. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, of course. I understand. Just to confirm as well, you haven't been vaccinated yet. You haven't had your first dose.
Not myself. I was going to, and I asked the pharmaceutical tech for the list of ingredients, and she pulled out the sheet, not the fact sheet, because I understand, it talks about the nanoparticles and a certain minimal list of ingredients, but I wanted the full detail, that's with all the insert of medications, whether it's just, migraine headache medicine or whatever, it still has a list of ingredients. So when she pulled out the actual pamphlet from inside the vaccine itself, we opened it all the way up, and it was 100% completely blank besides a QR code, which I did scan, and it didn't take me it took me basically to the fact sheet. And not ingredients.
All right, Mr. Edward. I've been more than happy to assist you with your concern. Do you mind if I place you on a brief hold for 2 to 3 minutes?
Not a problem, but I just do the main question that I did have is, you look at the media and the administration, the current administration in the U.S., and they're saying just this week that it was FDA, that the Pfizer BioNTech was FDA approved. But when I called in, your recording stated that it was not FDA approved, but authorized for emergency use authorization.
Mm-hmm.
So I just was trying to get clarification on that.
Okay, so let me clarify that for you, sir. So the Pfizer, you are correct. The Pfizer BioNTech COVID-19 vaccine is still under the EUA authorized. Okay, but there is a new product, the Comirnaty, which is that is the FDA approved. Okay, and the difference between the two, Mr. Edwards, is the Comirnaty, which is the FDA approved. It has the same formulation as the Pfizer BioNTech COVID-19 vaccine, and it is used for individuals of 16 years of age and older for active immunization to prevent the virus caused by severe acute respiratory syndrome. Okay, for that specific range, 16 years of age and older. Okay, and while the Pfizer BioNTech COVID-19 vaccine is still under the emergency use authorization to prevent also the virus, the COVID-19, in individuals 12 years of age and older. So that's the difference between the two. And also the Pfizer BioNTech COVID-19 vaccine has been authorized to provide a third dose to individual on that same age group, 12 years of age and older, who have been determined to have certain kinds of immunocompromise. So for immunocompromised individuals. But then again, the FDA approved Comirnaty and the EUA authorized Pfizer BioNTech COVID-19 vaccine have the same formulation. It can be used interchangeably to provide the COVID-19 vaccination series. Okay, and I hope that answers your question between the FDA approval. But for the ingredients, sir, do you mind if I place you on a brief hold?
Yeah, no problem. Thank you very much once again. That did help clarify that.
Yes, of course. Happy to help you, sir. So please stay on the line. Do not hang up because I don't have your callback number, Mr. Edwards. So please do not hang up and I'll get back to you as soon as I can, okay?
Okay, take your time. Thank you.
You're welcome. Hold on.
Yes, can you hear me?
Thank you so much for patiently holding. Okay. I can hear you. All right. So I have the ingredients here. I can share this with you. Send it to your email. I have the list of the ingredients and the function of the ingredients of the vaccine. Okay. So the Pfizer BioNTech COVID-19 vaccine and the Comirnaty includes the following ingredients. Of course, the mRNA, lipids, potassium chloride, monobasic potassium phosphate, sodium chloride, dibasic sodium phosphate, and sucrose. Okay, those are the ingredients of the vaccine. And there is also a list of the functions of each ingredient. Okay, I can share this with you so you can show this to your healthcare provider, to your doctor, so that they can discuss with you the functions and the contents of these ingredients.
Okay, perfect.
Since I have your email.
Yes, please. Thank you. And just what is there the SM-102? Is that included? And then also the luciferase or lucifer. I don't always say that right. Luciferase, like the illuminating gel. Is that also?
I'm not seeing that in the list of ingredients. Only the mRNA, lipids, and I did not see that anywhere, sir. I think that's not one of the ingredients, potassium chloride, sodium chloride. Okay, I can share this with you again. Okay, I'll email you the information since I have your email. You can show this to your healthcare provider, your doctor, so that they can discuss this matter with you.
Sounds perfect, and I greatly appreciate you, Sabrina. Thank you very much for all of the time and the consideration you put into this matter.
By the way, there's a short survey at the end of this call. If you wish to participate, again, thank you for contacting Pfizer. Have a great day.
You too.
And stay safe.
Thank you.
Okay, goodbye.
Goodbye.
Welcome.
Thank you for participating in this survey. We value your feedback. Based on this experience, how likely are you to recommend Pfizer Medical Information Services?
They just call it approved, but in the fine print, it's not approved.
Exactly. It's you've talked about this, but most people don't remember the FDA's legal history. The FDA is mostly a labeling company. So their history was to make sure products were properly labeled, not to make sure they were safe or effective, not to control everybody's medicine. It was about labeling. And they've gone back to their old history. So what they did actually on Monday is they said there is this vaccine that we approve now, but this vaccine's not available. which of course doesn't make sense because it's medically identical as the vaccine that's currently being injected into people right now. But from the FDA's perspective, it's not identical unless the label is the same. So legally, that's why they say these are legally distinct vaccines. The reality is there is no FDA-approved vaccine that is available currently and that may be available anytime soon, because that requires a label be put on it according to the law. And until that label is put on it, everybody's still getting experimental emergency use authorized only vaccine. And Pfizer has no incentive to rush this process because Pfizer doesn't want the legal risk and the potential adverse effects that may occur, but they can get sued if their actual FDA-approved vaccine goes forward. The FDA doesn't want it to go forward because the moment it's actually available is the moment they have to reverse and revoke all the emergency use authorized drugs, including Moderna would have to be off the market entirely. J&J would have to be off the market entirely. They don't want to do that either. So they're playing a game of pretending that the vaccine you're getting is the FDA-approved one when it's not, according to the FDA's own terms. The FDA said the approved vaccine is not available right now, and that's why we're going to continue emergency use authorization. So this is a trick meant to get people, get the military, get employers to trick their employees into believing they're getting an FDA-approved vaccine, which would mean they would have legal remedies potentially against Pfizer when they're not. They're not getting that at all. According to the FDA, that's not available. It's pure gamesmanship, of course, because it's the same drug in the same bottle, but because the label is different, that means radically different things legally.
So this is the medical system completely engaging in smoke and mirrors with the corporations that are funding it. The social contract just completely and totally broken because they knew there was massive heat on them pushing something not approved. So now they've still not approved it, not releasing data, but calling it approved. Just like the PCR tests were fake, just like the people dying of other things were being counted. I mean, this is just a wall of criminal fraud.
Absolutely. It reminds me of the old Huey Long story about the snake oil salesman who sold one medicine that cured half your problems and another medicine that cured the other half. And one was called High Papillorum and the other one was called Low Papahirum. And somebody asked him, the salesman, well, what's the difference between these two? And he goes, well, they're both made from bark off the tree, but one of them is made from bark off the tree that you skin from the bottom up, and the other one is you make from a bark off the tree from the top down. And so here you have an identical drugs, but because they want to protect big drug companies, because they want to continue Moderna and J&J having access to the market under their emergency use authorization, they are not actually, they are pretending that the approved vaccine is not available. So if your employer says, well, I want you to go out and get the FDA approved vaccine, you can come back to them and say, that's not available according to the FDA. It's not available until it has that label on it, that Comirnaty label on it. And that's not likely to happen anytime soon because Pfizer, remember, is the company that paid the biggest criminal fine in the history of big drug companies, doesn't want to be legally liable for the adverse events its vaccine is likely causing.
We know it's causing it. By the way, Texas governor issues new ban on vaccine mandates as FDA fully approves Pfizer jab. ZeroHedge.com, article on Infowars.com.
More than 95,000 Americans are now hospitalized with COVID-19. Nearly 205 million doses of Pfizer's vaccine have gone to Americans so far. And the hope this morning that this full FDA approval could convince even more to get that shot. Eva Pilgrim joins us from right outside Pfizer's headquarters here in New York with the very latest. Good morning, Eva.
Good morning, Cecilia. This is one of the most studied vaccines in history. On top of the more than 40,000 volunteers in the clinical trials, we now have 8 months worth of real world data from the more than 1.2 billion doses that were given out around the world. And health officials are hoping that will reassure those who are waiting to get that first shot.
This morning, major new developments in the fight against COVID-19. The FDA granting full approval for Pfizer's vaccine, the fastest vaccine approval in FDA history.
Those who've been waiting for full approval should go get your shot now.
Pfizer becoming the first vaccine to move past emergency use authorization. Their shot, made with mRNA, does not contain any part of the coronavirus and does not alter people's DNA. In order to get full FDA approval, Pfizer had to undergo a more stringent review, submitting results from its ongoing clinical trials and proving substantial evidence of effectiveness.
The FDA not just took their time and did the due diligence that needed to be done, but did it quickly and efficiently.
The move paves the way for more corporations, government, and schools to issue vaccine mandates. The Pentagon now preparing to require the shot for its 1.3 million active duty troops. New York City announcing shots will now be required for all school employees, with weekly testing no longer an option. And workers at United Airlines have 5 weeks to show the now required proof of vaccination. While the FDA's full approval of the Pfizer vaccine applies to those 16 and older, the agency making it clear that does not mean it should be given off-label to younger children.
They are not just small adults, so we really would have to have the data and the appropriate dose before recommending that children be vaccinated.
But this first full approval could be a game changer for those who have been hesitant to get a shot. A recent poll finding that 3 in 10 of those unvaccinated would be more likely to get it now. And with every state in the country now experiencing high community transmission except Vermont and Maine, more Americans are dying of COVID. Now, an average of 738 every day. Florida just saw its deadliest week. Healthcare workers hoping people will get the vaccine as they face a crush of COVID patients.
One of my biggest frustrations is that we're maybe not vaccinating our kids at a rate that is beneficial to everyone.
So what about the other vaccines? Full approval for Moderna and Johnson & Johnson is expected in the coming months.
Just boiling down the admitted mainline science that even I learned in high school and college, just in biology class, that natural immunity is better than a vaccine immunity, that the virus says you can't create a vaccine for a cold virus because there's too many of them, just on and on and on. He gets up there and he explains it to them. And if that got seen by 100 million Americans or 1 billion people worldwide, they could then educate the world and stop it. There's the headline. Watch Doctor educate school board on COVID vaccine and mask, slam CDC and NIH. That's, again, a article that I just got reposted today to make sure that everybody follows that. We're also going to post the video under the live show feed at Infowars.com with, again, the bombshell headline. The UK and the EU main regulators have come out and said, do not give the shot to 15 and younger. And we have our own number 1 and number 2 heads of vaccine program at the FDA saying we didn't authorize these shots. This new authorization is an emergency authorization. It's not approved. That won't even happen if it does till 2025. And they went on and they said, you shouldn't give people boosters. It's not going to work. And you shouldn't give it to children. That's hardly in the news, though. That is huge. So really people are waking up to the hysteria and the lies and what's been pushed here and the censorship of thousands of prominent doctors in the U.S. alone and all over Europe and Europe and Australia trying to pass laws that doctors can't criticize official UN statements on all this, that lied about the Wuhan origin and that told us that ivermectin and hydroxychloroquine doesn't work, even though it won a Nobel Prize. This is crazy. So Dr. Dan Stock of Pure Health Functional Family Medicine is a passionate practitioner of functional family medicine, providing both prescription and non-prescription treatments without bias. He is an accomplished and highly respected medical doctor with a long track record of success in the delivery of family medicine, functional medicine, and primary care. He is educated in a variety of medical disciplines with academic achievements from top colleges and universities. Dr. Stock is a recent founder of Cyril and Dorothy's Foundation for Medical Freedom. He also is the head of the grassroots movement, which is spread globally, Medical Freedom for All, puremedicalmed.com. And we've got him for the next 50 minutes. Sir, thank you so much. And I'm going to try to just give you the floor to go back to what you said to the school board or city council, or go back to whatever you want to say. We were blessed to have you, and we'll have to go to break here in about 7 minutes, but we'll come back. So you've got the floor, sir. Thank you, doctor.
Well, thank you. And by the way, that's the first I've heard of the UK's decision on the children and the booster shots. And I have to tell you, that's the best news I've heard probably since this thing came out, is that somebody's finally starting to realize that this is not a rational approach to this particular disease.